Bo Bassett, three-time high school Super 32 winner, 6 belts overall. What a barn burner. 10-7, overtime over Daniel Zepeda. Just your general thoughts looking back on that.
Man, that was probably the funnest match I've ever wrestled in my life. I said who's number one, that was the most fun, but I don't know, this crowd brought it. And Daniel had fans. It was getting loud when he'd score, and it got really loud when I scored too. So much respect to Daniel. That was the most fun match I've ever wrestled in my life. 17 points, but 17 hard-fought points in that match, and nothing but respect for him.
How did, versus 2 weeks ago, how did you wrestle different? How did he wrestle you different? What were the differences between this and who's number one?
Yeah, I mean, we both have unbelievable coaches. My dad, Coach Strip Matter. My uncle, Coach Verona. Coach Howard. I could go on and on. Coach John, Strip Matter. All those guys are in my corner. He has Daniel Cormier in his corner. So we both have unbelievable coaches. I put those guys up as some of the best in the world, for sure, both of those. His coaches, my coaches. He's got another coach in his corner, and no disrespect to him, but I forgot his name. I know his name because I go against him so much, but that dude's unbelievable as well. He came to both who's number ones. Nothing but respect for all those guys. They're unreal, and I think that the biggest thing was there's adjustments on both sides, and it was basically a little chess match. It was fun, though. It was a lot of fixing things throughout the match, listening to my coaches, listening to his coaches, and going off of what I heard.
A lot of action early. What was your take on that?
Hey, I love it. I'm going to come out at a high pace. Daniel wrestles a pretty high pace. I think we built up our pace when we wrestled. I think that's what it was. Good scramble at the beginning. I don't think I scored. They waved it off. But just being able to scramble is huge for me. We scramble all the time. I got partners like Jax Forrest, Devin Magro, Keegan Bassett, Melvin Miller, Sam Herring, Owen McMullen. All these guys are unbelievable partners, and we scramble really hard in the room. So
to get the escape at the end of the second,
Yep.
that proved to be a really pivotal point.
Yeah.
You had to work hard for it.
Yeah.
What was the key
I
there?
know every point matters. I didn't want it to be that close, but when it's that close, every point matters. So you got to get every point you can. And I was praying throughout the match, and I think that helped me a lot too. Having a really good sense of my faith and having that as the center of my life. I win this match, God still loves me. If I lose, he still does too. So the plan stays the same, and ultimately it's his plan.
So walk me through the score in overtime.
I think one thing my dad always says, in the room is we don't lose overtime matches. So that's instantly what played in my mind. I was like, man, can't lose an overtime match. I trained so hard, there's no way. So I knew I had to go get that takedown. It was a really, really good scramble, really good period. Kind of hit him with a Little Winn-Dixie. Just again, scrambling. That's one of my best things. Hand fight, scramble, and put points on the board. And I feel like I could do that. But I think, again, it all comes down to my faith.
To not just win 2 weeks ago, but to back it up 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
What's that prove to you? What's it prove, you think, in general?
I think consistency on both sides. We wrestled who's number one, and then we wrestled here through a bracket of unbelievable wrestlers who have a lot of respect for previous rounds, right? Semis, quarters, round of 16. Every round's a good match. Every round's against like another stud. So I think it's consistency for both of us, and I think it's going to make us both a whole lot better. I know that me and Daniel, we don't really talk too much because we wrestle a lot, but if I could talk to him, I'd tell him I appreciate him for always pushing me.
How so? How is he pushing you? In which ways? And what do you admire most about him as a wrestler?
Well, from 365 days till the who's number one, I thought about Daniel every single day. I know that's one of those things, but I did. Every time I went into the practice room, I'm thinking of him, and that's what it was. And I don't think that much changes now. I'm just trying to keep doing what I can, keep rolling the boat, and keep allowing God to push me on my path. But I give a lot of, my last year I've been fired up, and I'm still fired up from that match, to be honest with you, even though we've wrestled twice since. But yeah, I mean, I'm fired up from that. I'm fired up from losses in middle school. It's one of those things. You never really get rid of those, even if you beat the guys. But I think my main drive is my faith.
Hey, great stuff, Bo. Anything else for us?
No, just the power of God. That's all I got.